stream. I see several of my friends are actually out there live streaming as well. So there's a strong chance that all the people that would be watching this are overwatching my friends Alex Cooper over at WP Eagle and Ron Stefanski at the 1 Hour Professor. But in this pretty short live stream, I think I only got about 20 minutes here. I'm just going to chat briefly about the Amazon affiliate commission rate change that's rolling out, I believe, April 21st, 2020. So coming up pretty quick. What is that, like next week or something? Today's the 14th. So 1 week from right now, we got a few people on, and yeah, I'm just going to go over a couple things here. And give me a shout in the chat as you are doing. And I got a couple things for you. So number one, I'm just going to jump right into it, and then I'm going to come out and answer some questions from the chat. So number one, we can see here that we do indeed have this email that Amazon actually sends out these operating agreement terms of service changes occasionally, sometimes up to once per month. And the one that you don't normally see is this right here, this one right here, the fee statement change, right? So usually the fees are not changed too often, but it does happen occasionally. And I will tell you some stories about that. Before I jump into a few other things, I just want to show you the original sources. So there's links in here. And number one, it does show you the new operating agreement changes. So April 21st, that is next week. And they're changing it from whatever it was before to these rates from 1 to 3%, basically. Now, the thing is, a few people texted me because I don't live in my inbox. So a lot of times I don't see these for a couple days. And basically, one of my friends, Graham, texted me. He was like, dude, did you see the email? And what do you think? I was like, well, no, not yet. And then I was like, well, what were the rates before? So here are the rates before, but you kind of have to go back and compare and contrast. And both links are in the email that they sent out. So what I did is I put together this list right here so you can see what the rates were before, what the rates were going to be here. So I just manually copied and pasted things over. I tried to be pretty careful about what I was doing. And then I put together a little formula here, just a little straight up math to show you the percentage drop for the specific categories which they changed. They didn't change all of them, and I think that's important to note, but you can get this sheet right here so you can look at it a little bit more closely and kind of have it spelled out in an easier to follow format. They showed you the new stuff and they told you where to find the old stuff, but it doesn't line up exactly. So for example, they kind of grouped stuff together before where it was like all these things were 4.5%. But then when they sent out the new email, they changed sports and baby products and health and personal care, and they changed them to different rates. So basically this sheet is a little easier to follow, and all you have to do is click the link in the description. It should pop up a little window that looks a lot like this right here. You enter your name and email address, and then you'll get a link for it right on the next screen. So you do sign up for my email list, and you can unsubscribe, after you get what you want. But I also send out some helpful stuff in general. So again, a lot of these rates are down by anywhere from 33% to this one's 80%. So groceries, you can imagine a lot of people were buying stuff online and trying not to go to the grocery store. And now instead of 5%, it's down to 1%. So kind of I would say a kick in the balls, to say the least. Let me pop back on the screen, answer a couple questions here, and then I'll tell you some of the stories about when these commission rate changes have moved in the past, because they have definitely moved in the past. So we have T. Homier, what's up? We have Dennis, what's going on? Longtime friend there, Dennis. We have Durbani, Mike, good to see you, Mr. Payton. And someone was asking if it's permanent. It sure does look rather permanent from my perspective. Tamir says, sorry, I know I'm mispronouncing your name. You say it's a disaster. People are saying it's a sad day. This changes everything. Allwayne says, I thought it was temporary, but I don't know that. I mean, none of the verbiage here leads me to believe that it's temporary by any means at all. It does seem to be, hey, here's the commission rate change. And I mean, they change commission rates quite often. So, and I see we have, well, holy shit, we got like 53 people on here, and I didn't even think hardly anybody was going to show up. So thanks for hopping on with me today. It's going to be kind of a short one, at least in this short term here, because I have a meeting later that I scheduled beforehand. So I may come back on later as well. And I don't know if it's temporary or permanent. I haven't talked to anyone, but the way this reads, here's a change that is rolling out on the 21st. That usually means that is an ongoing thing. And some folks apparently have chatted with some of the support and stuff like that from Amazon, which I can't comment on. And by the way, this is just for informational purposes and entertainment. Hopefully it's slightly entertaining. I am not associated with Amazon or Google or YouTube or anything. I'm just associated with myself, and I'm Doug Cunnington if you don't know who I am. I see Alex is on as well, and Mike asked this question. And by the way, give a thumbs up if this is helpful, if you've ever watched any of my videos and you want other people to see it too. And if you do want to get this, this very beautiful spreadsheet with an easy comparison, it is free. I just put it together a few minutes ago after my buddy texted me and said that the sky was falling. So Mike says, when do people think this will hit UK associates? I haven't seen or heard anything from UK yet. So I don't know. I would suspect quickly. I mean, that my gut says it would be quickly. And many times what we see is the UK and Europe will often roll out changes before the US. I think a lot of times they test changes to see if they get the reaction that they guess that they will get, that they estimate, and then they can roll it out in the US after that. So it's a bit of a sandbox in the UK. Not that it's not as mature or anything like that, but it's a smaller group, less of a market. So they can do some testing, figure out what's going on. And by the way, a lot of people haven't seen my new office. I got the shelves up behind me. I have lights surrounding me. You know, it looks, I don't know, I think it looks okay. Got a lot of work to do in here still, and there's a lot of bare walls. And that means the echo is potentially there. So thanks to the folks that gave a thumbs up. I do appreciate it. Carlos, what's going on, my friend? Siraj, what's up? Amin, longtime friend of the show. And Raymond, what's going on? And Keat, Marcus, we got the whole crew, Asim, and some folks are saying, you hope me and my family are well. Thank you. I hope everyone is safe out there. I know it's a crazy world these days. And I mean, we just moved to a new house. We bought a new home that was in play for months before any coronavirus situation was happening. So it's been a little stressful. It's kept us busy actually, and also distracted from a lot of the, things that are going on rather than just being stuck at home. We actually were packing and moving, and I moved most of the stuff myself. I have a pickup truck, F-150 with plenty of room in the back. So I was hauling boxes and just doing most of it myself. So as we scroll down, I am seeing multiple people mentioning, like Gabriel and some other folks, saying that they call the Amazon associates and it's a permanent change. So I'm going to do a quick review here because I know a lot of people just hopped on. And Mikhail says, good thing they're getting so low that they're hard to cut further. We have Linus, friend of the show. Good to see you on. And talk about diversification. Marshall, what's up? And Justin does say it's horrible. It's not fair at all. And I think this is one of those deals. And my initial reaction, Justin, is, nothing's fucking fair. I mean, everyone is cutting, and diversification, like someone just mentioned is something that you have to like just think about. And I don't want people to think, hey, you have to diversify as soon as you're starting out. Hey, I need to do 3 things at once. I mean, you really have to focus on one area and then branch out from there. That's the only way that you can make good progress and focus. And I still think, even with these reduced commission rates, that Amazon is probably one of the best ways and easiest ways to get started making some money online. There's already a customer base there. It is very hard to find your customers. And the fact that Amazon has like more than a full suite of departments and product lines. I mean, you can get anything on Amazon, and it makes it easier to sell things and to find your customers. So with that said, I still think it's a good way to get started, but this definitely changes the game in many ways. And I'm lucky in some, well, I'm lucky in a shitload of ways, to be honest with you. Very lucky, but I also, when I started working on affiliate sites and I started working on Amazon sites, I realized that, you know what, I need to diversify, and I want to make sure I have a little bit of a platform like Niche Site Project. And I want to branch out to YouTube, which is why I'm sitting here talking to you all right now. And it's paid off because now number one, I have a network of people. There's like 20 people I know in the chat that I could shoot an email to, or you guys could shoot me an email. And the community aspect is really important. The other part is, if you do have a platform and you are thinking, hey, I'm branching out to do different things, you can start an email list, for example. And these are things that I almost never talk about because people just want to hear my expertise in Amazon Associates, which is great because I could talk about it ad nauseum. But starting an email list is super important. Understanding how to communicate, copywriting, doing videos, doing a podcast, all this stuff is all part of the platform. So like I said, I have folks that I could email here. I have folks that I could email on my email list and just say, hey, what are you guys struggling with? What do you need help with? And, that's all part of the full picture. So it took me longer to grow anything. I moved much slower. Than many of my friends who solely focused on one thing or another. However, I have a more, I would say, diversified platform than some of my friends who are only focusing on certain areas. So let me get back to the chat in just a moment. I know we have quite a few people on here, so I just want to give a quick update again. And the other week, so I'm going to share my screen. So I got this email over here, like many people did. Changes are effective as of 1 week from now. So that is April 21st, if I'm doing my math right. Yeah, 14 plus 7. It's the 21st. So they changed the commission rates, and here's the thing you can get, right? So they tell you that they changed the commission rates to basically 1 to 3% in these various categories. And they say, hey, if you are curious what they used to be, you can click here. You will notice it doesn't line up exactly. And you're like, what changed? I don't understand. You can get this spreadsheet for free right now. All you have to do is click on the link in the description, share it with your friends, people that are like, hey, I wonder what it used to be, and I wonder what the percentage drop is. Well, it's right here. It's free. I linked to the original sources. You'll get it in like 1 second. I can see, and you can see, there's like 3 or 4 people looking at it right now. Anonymous Kraken, you got the anonymous bat, and the anonymous rhino. Very, very nice animals out there. And all you have to do is put in your name and email address, and you can share it with a bunch of people. All right, just share it with a bunch of people. Let them know. You do sign up for my email list, which I send out helpful information, but you can also unsubscribe if you don't want to be on it. But this is a helpful spreadsheet here. Okay, let me scroll down and look at some of this chat information. And then I'm going to tell you a few little stories about this other time. Can you guys hear my dog barking? I think someone knocked on the door. She's very excited. That's Georgie. So you could still hear dogs running through the hallway. So All right, cool. So I'll tell you a couple stories about this time that I lost about $100,000 the last time they changed the commission rates. That was in 2017 in March. So about 3 years ago. But I'm going to hop over to the chat because I know we got a lot of good people on here. And we have Afzul. And you say, which affiliate program am I going to use now? Well, I'm fairly entrenched and things are kind of running pretty smooth with Amazon. So I'm probably going to be sticking with that for the short term. But one thing that is not often talked about is you can have multiple affiliate programs. So you could have like Walmart, some other thing, Target, and Amazon, have all the buttons there. You can see this on various websites where basically you end up with like a price comparison situation. And it's very easy to see why your conversion rates might be boosted up because people see, hey, I'm getting the best deal here. Or they're shopping around. And, it's not a bad thing to have those different options there. So I'm going to stick with Amazon for the short term. And I want to emphasize I'm not associated with Amazon, Google, anything. I'm only associated with myself, Doug Cunnington. I'm only associated with myself. That's a stupid sentence. I'm associated with Niche Site Project, which is my blog. And I'll probably be talking about this a little bit more in the next few days because, everyone's impacted with the coronavirus situation. And I was thinking, I'm sitting over here in my house here and thinking, things are generally the same. I see traffic's going up. I was chatting with some friends earlier. They're like, hey, I'm doing pretty good too. It was a little of a lower couple weeks, but things are picking up and now this. But this happens sometimes. If you're an entrepreneur, sometimes shit goes sideways. All right. Sometimes that's what happens. So I'm going to look at the chat here because I do see we have a lot of my old friends here, my good buddies here. Online says, is there any reduction in the electronic space? I did not notice, but you can, my friend, just click that link in the description and you could check out the spreadsheet. This spreadsheet right here where I show you the comparison and I actually see that I need to can I scroll that over so everyone, oh, there we go. So I show all the stuff that they have and I just make it a little bit easier to read so that you can see the percentage drop. And it's unclear, how this is really going to play out in the long term. Wesley's on, what's happening, my friend, and Adam Wilson. Is mentioning there's a lot of other networks and you could find a new offer. All right. And Kashif says, when will you come up with diversification methods? So I think, I've mentioned it offhand before, but in a lot of ways, it's all about making progress and understanding how to do a thing and get good at the thing. And then you could slowly expand what you're doing. Usually if someone is brand new and you're like, hey, I need to diversify right off the bat, you'll never be very successful in any one of the things you're trying to diversify in. So I highly recommend just pick something. I know a lot of my friends are doing well with various business models and they are the same as what they used to be. This is impacting all business models, right? Restaurants, hospitality. I'm a huge beer lover, a huge beer fan. And, breweries are closed. Margins are tight in the hospitality industry for, restaurants, breweries. The two things that I just mentioned, pretty thin margins and a lot of hourly employees. And when they shut these places down, it's going to be really hard for a lot of places to stay in business long term. So I hope they're going to be able to come out with, come out of this mess on the other side. All right, as we're scrolling down, thanks for all of the chat messages here. And okay, Abdul says, what about those who are just thinking to start? Well, I think you should start. You may want to tweak exactly like what you were doing, but regardless, right? All right, there's a couple thoughts here. This is a good question. Regardless, the sooner you start, the better. Whatever it is you're thinking of starting. If you were thinking you were going to do Amazon, it still may be the perfect route for you. But I will tell you, and I heard some of my friends over the Tropical MBA podcast, they're doing live streams, by the way, these days. So shout out to them. Check them out. They go live at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. So if you're thinking you want to start, go ahead and start now. The people that start now and that persevere and find success out of this are just badass, right? Like if you start now, you are so dedicated to the process. You are very interested in making it work. So if you start now and you get out the other side, I mean, you're going to have something on your hands. So in a lot of cases, this is a time for opportunity. Now's the time to do something. Queen of Stamford. Is that a shout out to The Office? Or, yeah, could be Stamford. Okay, time to create your own products. Indeed, and that alludes back to starting an email list, having a platform, do a YouTube channel, do a podcast, start a blog. Blogs are a little tougher at times, but basically start a thing, talk about something, start an email list. You have people you could talk to. You have people that you can market to. You can help them out. You have to exchange value for sure. But if you have people that you could talk to, then do it. Brandon says Amazon is crap for affiliate, way more lucrative affiliate marketing. Yep, there's many avenues. And if you know how to get traffic, and I've said this for years, by the way, just to take some credit for this, but if you have traffic, you can figure out a way to make money. So it may not be as easy, and Bob, friend of the show as well, Amazon can make you a little lazy because, I mean, they have the customers there. You just have to sort of siphon them off, help them out, find the products they want. But in a lot of ways, it makes you lazy because you don't have to market that hard. The content doesn't have to be the very best. Good enough will get the job done in many ways. So I was definitely getting a little lazy at times. Mike says you started a Fiverr side gig and that's going to replace part of the of the lost income. Nathan, what's up? Says take an hour to research your top performing products, review the brand, and if they have their own affiliate programs, check it out. You may be able to work directly with the companies, and that is 100% true. You could also see if here's a little hack on that, Nathan, which I think based on what you said, you probably already know. But you could check who's running ads on AdWords. So Google the term, see who's running ads, see who's running ads on Facebook. And then if you know they're running ads, they have money, they want to get eyes on stuff. So if you could tell them, hey, I get this many page views per month, how much will you pay for it? I know that you're running ads, so I could tell you that you're definitely going to get at least this many page views. And if you have historical data, it's hard to argue with that. It's really hard to argue with that. I mean, it's a no-brainer. If they're spending money on ads, they will pay you for display ads on your site. And you can sell directly to them, draw up a contract that works for you. Alex asks, can working with Google AdSense be a good idea to minimize the impact? Sure. Any display network could be a good option. And I may need to pause here to do a quick intermission, actually, because I have a meeting, but I think I'm going to push it off because we have quite a few people here. So I'm going to do two things. One, I'm going to encourage folks that just hopped on, you didn't see this yet. This spreadsheet here is something I created to make it a little bit easier for folks to compare the before and after commission rate percentages. You can see the percentage drop. That is just a simple formula where I looked at the before and after, and you could see how much it dropped. So if you want to check that out, it's 100% free. All you have to do is click that link in the description, put in your name and email. You sign up for my email list. I send you helpful emails. You can unsubscribe if you want to, but there are over 10,000 people in that email list. So you should probably check it out. I'll be right back. And let's see if I could find a clip to play for you. It could be a little random, but what I'll do is, I got a good one. One of my friends over there, Alex Cooper, who's doing a live stream right now, crushing it over there, showing you how to build an affiliate website, ironically. But I interviewed him a while back, and he's talking about using Pinterest for traffic.
My approach has been a little bit scattergun. I've tried lots of different things. So I've used the Hoff, which I know you've mentioned a few times, and I don't know. The site is ranking well, and organic traffic is growing. It's very difficult, I think, to measure and to gauge how well these things work. So yeah, I spent some money on the Hoff. I went and I paid $500, in fact, for one of their links. And it seems like a pretty good link, and it brings a bit of traffic, and it's on a nice site that's really busy and that kind of thing. So I've done that. I've done a few bits of guest posting. However, that's been probably a bit easier for me because of the YouTube channel. So a lot of people share their sites with me. And if I see that they've got a site, say, for example, on camping, on skiing, on anything to do, on fishing, I don't know, anything to do with a roof box, I'll say, I'll create an article for your site. Is that cool? And they'll say, yeah. So for the fishing site, I'll send over an article on the best roof box for a fishing rod. And they've been accepting it. So that I've been doing some guest posting that way. Obviously, it's a lot harder in the real world. You'd have to do some outreach and that kind of stuff. I did a bit of YouTube. Again, I went to the Hoff and they created some videos for me. On hindsight, those videos are not the best, maybe. Basically, I just gave them some of my articles and said, can you turn this into a video? Which they did. And it's a guy presenting it, and there's some B-roll footage in there. I don't know how much value that's brought in. And I've done a lot of Pinterest. So pretty much every article has a little pin image on it. And I make sure that I pin that to Pinterest for the link. It doesn't bring in a lot of traffic, but I'm sure those Pinterest links are worth something, aren't they? I don't know.
I think maybe just a tiny bit if they're bringing in traffic, because they're going to be a no follow link.
Yeah.
But if they're bringing in traffic, well, that has its own like intrinsic value. But if the problem is anyone can create as many Pinterest links as they want, so the value goes down.
Yeah, they're not that valuable, I guess. No. Oh, and the other thing I guess I should say is I did quite a bit on Quora. And other question and answer sites. So when I was doing searches around some of my articles, when people were searching for what's the best roof box for a Subaru Outback, if I saw a Quora question come up that was similar or the same, I would then answer it and offer a pretty good answer, a quite in-depth answer, and then get a link back to the site. And a lot of them are stuck. Actually, they've stuck quite well. The Quora question would often outrank my site. But then within that answer, there would be a link back. And generally, the answer would be like the top answer or one answer that was near the top. And I don't know what your experience has been with those question answer sites. A lot of my viewers have found it quite difficult to get any traction there. But I think with those question answer sites, as long as you deliver some valuable information in your answer, then there's no reason why it shouldn't stick. And you can always reference back to your site in terms of where you got.
All right. That was Alex Cooper. Shout out to WP Eagle. If you haven't checked him out before, he's doing a live stream right now, or at least right before I started this, he was doing a pretty monster live stream. So I'm going to answer a few questions here, and just a quick update for people that are just joining in. Amazon cut the commission rates. I think you could tell that from the title of this, right? I mean, I think I put that in. So you can get those commission rate changes if you check the link in the description. You can see the before and after and the percentage which it dropped. So someone's asking how long it takes to rank with KGR. You just started your site 5 days ago. Just keep publishing stuff, keep doing things. And then if you're not ranking for anything in 60 days, then come back and ask. So keep working, keep doing stuff. There's a strong chance. Here's what happened in the last couple of weeks. And this happens all the time. Someone's like, hey, I have excellent content on my site. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. It's the best content out there. And I go read it and it looks like horseshit. So make sure it reads pretty well. All right. Make sure it's high quality. And you don't need to ask the question 4 times. All right. Just answer once and don't ask me to be sure to answer your question. So, okay. Getting back to it. Someone is also asking if this is a temporary thing. I'm not associated with Amazon, but it does seem to be permanent. There's no verbiage that makes it sound like this is a temporary measure by any stretch. Bob also says that Joe Exotic didn't even have this many people watching, which is hilarious. Anybody watch Tiger King? I mean, I've been putting out some content on Tiger King because my wife and I watched it, and then we just started recording and talking about it. So it's ridiculous if you haven't seen it. Don't listen to any of my podcasts about it yet because it's just filled with spoilers. But, basically, oh man, you guys are great. Benjamin says, Carol Baskin cut the rates. Yeah, I mean, it is crazy. She has her hands in everything. And Justin, oh my man, I just published his interview. He said he's hurt right now. Justin, I'm really sorry. Yep. Basically, Justin just hit, some good milestones, and now his commission rate is going to be, diminished. So I'm going to kind of blast through these so I could tell a little story in a second. So Justin is thinking about going straight to the manufacturers, and someone, Vorchik says, if you weren't heavily entrenched and just starting out, would I stick to Amazon or start somewhere else? Well, that depends. There's a couple aspects. So number one, I am deeply entrenched with Amazon already. The other thing is, I know for a fact, even with the diminished rates at this point in time, I'll put it this way, Amazon, or at least Amazon and some other affiliate programs, potentially Walmart, could be a great option. If you know how to get traffic, you can do something with the traffic. Like Justin says, he may be able to go straight to the manufacturers. A lot of companies would prefer that you work with them directly versus through Amazon anyway. So if you can find their share of sale information, then that's great. The other thing to add is, I think it's a perfect time for a business model with Amazon, for example, or some other affiliate program, right? It doesn't matter, but some affiliate program plus display ads. So maybe you're working with eZoic, maybe you're working with Mediavine, some of the others out there. There's like media.net. There's a bunch of different display networks. So if you know how to get traffic, or you can start a blog, you can just focus on 2 different areas, kind of have the best of both worlds. Lucas says, will you only pick Amazon affiliate sites now that the category's over a certain percentage? Well, man, no. So if I'm reading that right, you're asking like, hey, should I just aim for certain categories? And yes, I think that is probably the right way to approach it. So pick categories that have a higher percentage rate. So if we look back at my cheat sheet here, and I should be able to have my little beautiful face on this screen too. Oh, there we go. I clicked a button the other day and it disappeared, and then I couldn't figure out how to get it back. How stupid is that? I clicked the button because I was like, oh, cool, I'm blocking the view. But, and now, I couldn't figure out how to get it back for like 2 weeks. I looked everywhere, and it's literally on the easiest place to look. So basically here you see that the Amazon coins, I don't even know what those are. What are Amazon coins? Anybody have a clue? Let me scroll to the bottom here. What is Amazon coins? And then we have luxury beauty. So for me, that is head shining polish and other products like that. So I'm going to start, it's a very niche market. It's the overlap of luxury beauty, so my head shining products, plus coins. So only weird people are into that. And then some of the other higher rates are some of the ones that were not impacted. Some of the ones that were not impacted would be the digital music, not a hot area. Physical music, also not so hot, although records could be a good spot. Handmade, interesting, but I don't know. And then 4.5%, you got physical books, kitchen, and automotive. So not super awesome, but it really depends on like where products were located before. And then all other categories are at 4%. So, I mean, I think this does represent a significant drop for a lot of people. So if you want to get this sheet, it is 100% free. You can basically click the link in the description. You'll see a little window like this. You just enter your name and email. You join my wonderful email list where I send out helpful information. And probably in the coming days, I will be talking about diversification and other stuff. Now, because there is so many chat things going on, I am going to share the story that I was talking about earlier, but I will just mention, hey, you want this list? You can hop over here and just sign up. All right, it's free. Tell your friends about it. Share the link so they can sign up for my email list too. That is much appreciated. Okay, I'm going to pop back full screen for a second and just look at this chat. I'm going to try and answer more quickly so I can tell you the story about the time that I lost 100K in 2017, the last time the commission rates changed this dramatically. Ryan says, this is bad, but there are other ways to make money with your site and add other programs and ads to the site. Brian, you got it. And I've said for many years that if you start something, let's say you started an Amazon affiliate site, or if you started a YouTube channel or a podcast or whatever, like if you start something, you're going to learn skills that are transferable to other areas. So I hope that you had some skills coming into it. Like Ryan did, you had some skills coming in, you learned how to get traffic, you learned some SEO, you learned copywriting, you learned a little bit about content marketing in general, and then you can do whatever you want with it. There's a lot of different options you have. Now, for the people that, I see another mention, Fun Archive says you're hurt, and I'm sorry to hear it. Tiff, what's going on? Let's see. All right, I'm scrolling down. Thanks everyone for hopping on. We have like record viewers in general. It's been a long time since I've had this many folks on. All right. Chef Quat says in 5.5 months, you have 40 KGR posts, 30 non-KGR. You have 9 keywords on page 1, but it's low volume. You have 3 sales and $8. That does sound frustrating. Yeah, that does sound frustrating. Positive creators, you're probably catching up now. Amazon lowered their commission rates, and it's a dramatic drop. Samuel says he speculates that they're going to drop the rates to 1% in the future. Tech Geek, what's up? Good to see you on here. You say, I agree with you 100%, Doug. Now is the time to get your online business off the ground once and for all. Yes, if you can make it work right now when everything is so hard. I mean, a lot of people are at home. If you are dedicated enough and you're stubborn enough, like many of us are, if you can start a business right now, you're probably going to have a kick-ass business by the time things swing back in the other direction. A lot of us remember in 2007 through 2009 and 10, there's layoffs. It was a hard time, and businesses that started back then, a tough time to start when money was tighter. You had to be creative. You had to figure out how to do shit on your own. There's some big businesses right now that kicked off in that time frame. Little survivorship bias, I'm sure, but if you start now, you're going to be in good shape. And I mean, if you're dedicated enough to figure out how to make something work now, that really says something. Look at ClickBank. Samuel says, look at ClickBank, look at other offers. There's a lot of different platforms out there. Yes, indeed. And Bab says, no wonder YouTubers have their own products and get sponsorship from manufacturers. Yep, not an easy thing to do, but it is a solid business model where you have your own products, You have your own email list, and start an email list, people. I'm telling you. All right. Cynthia says, your boyfriend and I are just finishing the content for the affiliate sites, and this is a bit of a shock. Yes, indeed. All right. Positive Creator says, you ordered a KGR package via my link, and instead of 50 words, you got 170 KGR terms. Thanks for the recommendation. And I'm assuming you went Positive Creators with human proof design. So I'm glad that worked out for you. Pretty fast delivery too, because we chatted on Friday, I believe. Derby says Durbani, sorry, you have to tell your wife and kids that your niche site will make less income because of Amazon. Indeed. Quentin, what's up? Good to see you. One of my good friends, Quentin. Have we talked about whether it's time for display ads to get more love from bloggers? Yep. Yeah. So we talked just briefly, and yeah, there's a ton of different networks out there. And Quentin, do you have any favorite networks yourself? I am partially sponsored by eZoic, so I have a soft spot there, and they invited me to speak at their conference whenever that'll be rescheduled. But eZoic's good, and I know a lot of my friends have success with other networks as well. Just straight up AdSense. I know Ron Stefanski does well with AdSense straight up. And I know some other friends do well with Mediavine, but I think the sweet spot, like normal, is a blend of different monetization models. So if you can do some affiliate programs, great. A lot of times those are going to pay a little bit more per visitor. Not always, but a lot of times more than a display ad type site. If you could layer on more, if you could layer on drop shipping, if you could layer on your own products, that's going to be even better. There's no middle person. There's no middleman, middleman or middle woman. And you basically have higher margins. If it's your own product, then your margins can be very, very high. If it's a digital product, if it's a course, for example, your margins are going to be 85%, depending on your tech stack. I mean, software potentially is not cheap. And if you're automating a lot, software can be a little bit more, expensive. But I mean, the margins on info products are great, as you could imagine. So thanks for hopping on, Quentin. Good to see you, buddy. Kinder Tunes, what's up, Dave? And yep, so Positive Creator said you use human proof designs, and you used my coupon code there. Ryan says you're going to change your model. You seem to focus on Amazon. Will that change now? Well, I'm a flexible dude. So yeah, I'm deep in bed with Amazon and the business model in general, but it turns out I do a shitload of other things that I almost never talk about. So now is a great time for me to talk about those things. And a few of them I've mentioned just sort of in passing during this conversation already. So in general, I don't know. Times are a-changing, but I think, where I sit now, I have a lot of options. So people are going to be looking for other areas. And I think it could be interesting. I have some ideas in my head now. I shouldn't even say them out loud because, they're pretty good. But people have traffic. And if you have traffic on your site, you can figure out something to do with that traffic. I'm not sure if it'll be as much as Amazon commissions were 2 years ago, which I'm going to get to that story. And Tiff is mentioning you hope that this is temporary, but it reads as permanent, or this is how it is going to be moving forward. Samuel asks if this is an impact to the UK, Canada, and other territories and other associate programs. It is not listed specifically, but I would have a hunch that things are going to roll out globally. I have no insight on that, and I'll mention it again. I'm not associated with Amazon or Google or anything. I'm just here for your entertainment purposes. So if you like the video, hit the thumbs up and tell your friends. Share the link that is, what's the cool link that I have in the description? Whatever the link is in the description, so you could share with them the percentages. All right. And the big thing is they show you the percentages but it's like they show you them in isolation. So it's like, here's the new stuff, here's the old stuff. And by the way, we're not grouping things in the same way. So it's kind of hard to follow. So I put it into a spreadsheet, did a little math in there so you could see, hey, this category dropped by X%. All right. So thanks a lot for the thumbs up. I see that just went up quite a bit. So I appreciate that out there. And let me tell you about that time when I lost $100,000 with a commission rate change. It was 2017. It sucked. And it's a blog post out here. I think Quentin, some other folks remember when this happened. And well, it's very clear. I mean, this happened before. All right, this happened before. And I mean, some of us were holding our breath thinking, you know what? It could happen again. It could happen again. So Amazon changed the commission rate in 2017. And what I did, and this is a way that you can figure out how much you're probably going to have a reduced income. So back in 2017, earnings went down by 34%. At the time, I had a few things going on. I was making, I can speak in loose terms here. So I was making 6 figures with one site and with another site. Eventually, my partner and I, Rob Atkinson, sold the site for $235,000, something like that. And our original goal when we started thinking about selling, we wanted to sell it for $500,000. So you could see things went a little sideways while we were working on it. And just like this, basically, they sent out an email and the commission rates changed. And back in the day, imagine this, my friends. We were selling a lot of products. So our commission rates were usually 8.5%, period. It was 8.5%. It was based on the volume of products, not from the category. So it was a dramatic change. And for us, so here's the old stuff. So these are what they used to be, and they tweak them every now and then. And this was the old commission rate based on volume. So if you sold a few products, you got 4%. If you sold a lot of products, you got up to 8.5%. 8.5% is a lot. The effective rate of what Rob and I ended up making was about 5.5%, or a drop of 34%. So what you can do, and I think I mentioned it here. Do I mention it here? I haven't looked at this in a while. Okay, this is what you do. So you can download a CSV for all of the products that you sold in the last long period of time. I can't remember. Let's say it's 1 year to 2 years or 90 days, or it's a pretty big swath of information. So you can download all of that. Then for the people that are pretty savvy with Excel or spreadsheets and all that stuff, you probably know you can do some cool stuff with pivot tables. So you can group together data. You can group together data and make sums like this. So what you do is, I don't remember all the formulas here, but essentially you had a rate, the previous rate for the specific category. Back in the day, it was 8.5%. And then I saw how much revenue shipped. And then I also saw the commission rate in dollars. And then the new fixed rate. So now you'll have a rate for the commission and then a new rate for the commission. And you could figure out how much per category you made before and how much you would have made. And the theory here is if you are basically, if you know how much you made historically, you understand the sort of spread of the different categories that you were paid out. So you could assume that your past data is going to indicate your future performance. You never hear that line said, right? It's always the opposite. So your past data will give you a decent estimate on what you will be making in the future. You will need to divide it by category, as I've shown here. And I think I could even go in a little bit deeper here. And you could see in this case, 36% drop. And this other one, 34% drop. So, not ideal to say the least. And like, you just have to run the math. And here is where you find the impact for your site. Wow, this is really insightful. And I did this 3 years ago. Look at this tutorial. I don't remember doing this at all. Some of the buttons and different things could change. And you know what? I'll share the link in the description here. I mean, this is, I should do a tutorial on this. Any YouTubers out there, smart YouTubers, you do a tutorial on this. Yeah, so there's a link in the chat there. So basically, you can pull the reports, select the date range. I would get as big of a date range as you can, generate the reports. It'll take a little while, download it, and oh my gosh, did I already do a video on this? I'm a moron. What is this? It's like I'm some sort of, I don't know, I can see the future or something. Yeah, so here's the video that I've already done in the past on how to find the impact. I didn't prepare before I started this. I just hit go live and started talking. So what you can do if you're impacted. Holy shit. I mean, I did everything already. So you can work with other affiliate programs. You can work directly with manufacturers and companies as an affiliate. You could improve the conversion rate. I mean, I already talked about all this stuff already. You can consider FBA and use your niche site to promote it. You can consider drop shipping. You can look at other categories. I can tell the future. I wish I would have looked at this closer beforehand. Okay, so basically, why is Amazon making the change? Well, I don't know. I mentioned here it's all profits in the bottom line. Amazon's sort of a big company, they could throw their weight around. And a lot of people are saying, hey, we can work with other companies and Amazon will take a hit, we'll make them hurt. But Amazon's so big. Whatever you do probably doesn't matter to Amazon or anything. I'm pretty sure they don't care if you go somewhere else. But if a lot of us do come together, then, it could make an impact. So what do you think? And blah, blah, blah. So the way it cost me $100,000 is because I was selling a site at the time, and we were, my friend and I, Rob, we're going to sell this site for $500K. And just for disclosure, he had a site already and he needed some help. So I partnered with him as a minority partner. So, it was a site that Rob started, but I helped him out in certain ways and we outlined a deal, which worked out well for both of us. We had a good time working together. And basically, here's what happened. So you'll recognize this little spreadsheet snippet from before. Revenue dropped by 36%. We roughly could have sold the site for, I don't know, like low mid 300,000 area. But because of the commission rate change, we lost revenue and that killed the selling price. But luckily, Rob and I were pretty well diversified individually and working on other stuff. And this was just a side project that we thought would be fun to work on. So we worked on it, we did our thing. And at the end of the day, we both still came out of it making money. We had a learning experience and we had stories to talk about. And you may have noticed in that particular post that I was just showing, basically it was part 7 of like a 12 or 13 part series. So, it's content for me. So if it works out good, if it works out bad, it's something to talk about. All right. And let's see, I think I looked away. There's a lot of stuff in the chat. So I'm going to pop over and see if I can, it looks like most of it's about Tiger King, which I'm happy to talk about. I'm just kidding. There were only a couple lines about Tiger King, but it's unsubstantiated, but there's a lot of people talking about Carol Baskin. Is that her last name? Baskin? Carol Baskin is somehow advising Amazon. I'm not sure. It looks like it's unsubstantiated, but I did hear a couple people mention it here in the chat. So, do your research. I'm not associated with Big Cat Rescue. I'm not associated with Amazon or Netflix or anything like that. So, do your homework, but I don't know. There's something fishy going on, I would say. Okay, a lot of people are saying, yep, diversification is key. We got Bow, Ezoic, Amazon Commission Junction, and lead generation has been a winning formula. Very good. That is amazing. Snappy is asking, what am I using for screen recording? I'm using a tool called Ecamm Live, which I'm an affiliate for, but there's no link in the description. But yeah, it's a good piece of software. I recommended it to some friends, Tropical MBA in the last week, and they started using it. It's slick. I mean, if you can spend a few minutes to learn how to use the tool, it's a good tool. You can play clips, do some other stuff. You can do overlays, like I can show you. Yeah, you could do some overlays, and I haven't been messing around with it. Where were the overlays at? Yeah, so you could put like your name up there and stuff. Boom, that's me. Check out my podcast. I got a blog. Just catching up on the chat. Benjamin says the cost of business. So other retailers will have to decide if they'll follow suit. Yep, it's I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how this goes. Tube Man says Doug's the best. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hugh says, are there other affiliate programs that I recommend to use with Amazon Associates? So I can't comment specifically because I haven't done very much research ahead of time, but I would say look everywhere that you can. There are a lot of different platforms and marketplaces out there. So it depends on the products that you're able to look at. Share a Sale is one that I actively use right now and have for a few years anyway. There's a lot of online retailers that use Share a Sale. The downside previously was, even though other retailers won't convert as high of a percentage as Amazon, you would still almost make it up because they pay a lot higher of a commission rate. So they don't convert as much because they don't have as many products and that sort of thing. But a lot of times the higher commission rate is a good offset. So I would look everywhere, and I would highly recommend, check if companies will work directly with you. Everyone is hurting right now. So companies potentially they're not able to sell as much via their retail channels. So they may be very motivated to work directly with someone who has traffic on their site. So if you could tell them, hey, I have a post on my site, best ballpoint pen for journaling, and it gets 10,000 visitors per month. And I see that you're running ads over there on AdWords, and I see some Facebook ads and Instagram ads. Why don't you come over here? Because these are highly targeted, and look at this historical data over here where I'm getting all this traffic. You already know they're spending money. So you may as well, that's the best place to look. Duke, friend of the show, says you went over your stats from last month, and this would have cost 10% of the revenue. So that's not huge. That's actually less than I would have expected. John asks, by how much did they drop? So I'll just display really quick for the people that are just hopping on. I know people bounce in and they bounce out of a live stream like this. So it looks like this, and you could download this sheet for free. There's a link in the description. There are many people looking at it already. I can see there's the anonymous eagle, the anonymous, what is that, an otter type animal there. And then we have the anonymous axolotl, and I don't even know. There's some animals on here that there's a giraffe. I know that one. Kangaroo. I don't know is that an animal? It looks like I don't know, some kind of little goblin or something. So anyway, you could check it out here, and I have links to the original sources. So this is what Amazon tells you, and then this is the old list, but they don't have a good comparison. So I put that together because I thought, how can I bring a little more value than just talking at the camera and reading my old blog posts that were surprisingly insightful. Boo, boo, boo. Da, 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 da. All right. And let me see. And I'm going to hop over to, okay. I can't see exactly any new questions. Okay. Wow. The chat is just blowing up. I love it. Formulaic. I haven't seen you around in a while. I hope everything's good. So you saw a Reddit post in the UK, and then you said the UK hasn't changed yet, but he or she is expecting the same or worse. Yep. I have no insight on that, but I imagine so. Okay. Ewan says there's no point paying for writers to earn 3%. I think, yeah. So, I mean, you could do something else. Yeah. You can start another kind of blog or do something else. And Dami is going through all the different, what do you call those, emotions of loss: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. I think I bunch several of them together and just blast through it, or I just push it down deep inside and then hope it's going to go away. Yeah, a lot of people are mentioning Ezoic, and again, I partner with them on some stuff. I like the people at Ezoic, but there are many brands out there that do like ad network stuff. So, test, figure out which works best for your specific site and whatever you have going on. All right. I think I covered a lot of the questions. And yeah, we have Brittany and Sue, Bradbury, what's up? Annette, how's it going? And Nick's on as well. And yeah, people were, they're like, oh, Tiger King, this and that. Yeah, Carol Baskin. So crazy. So if people haven't watched it yet, then highly recommend. I don't know. I mean, part of the recording that I did, I was like, I think I'm dumber now than I was before after watching it. But it was very entertaining, and a lot of people watched it. So pretty entertaining. It's only 7 episodes, and there's a bonus number 8. But I recorded with my wife, I think we did 4 episodes, and then I did a video. I think it came out today, but I can't remember when I scheduled it. It's the SEO of Tiger King. So I did a little dabbling, and I was like, it'll be funny if that's how my channel blows up. I start talking about Tiger King and SEO, and then now I'm roped in forever talking about Tiger King bullshit. But I doubt that'll happen. All right. What else do we have going on? Linus says, is it going to be a permanent change, or is it just temporary? It is unclear. We do not know. But it sure looks like it's permanent. Nick says your plan is to pivot to on-page ads and more DTC companies that have a better commission rate. Long-term, you'd like to white label or private source some top products directly to the audience. Perfect. That is exactly the right way to look at it. Nick, you develop skills and you have traffic on your site. There's a lot of different ways to pivot and do things. I mean, even if you just start a site and it's not making a huge amount, let's say, because I know a couple people were like, hey, I just popped over and decided I'm going to build a site and I'm still going to do it. You can sell the site in the future and you can roll over your profits and do something else, but you have skills that are marketable and useful moving forward. I mean, people still want to get traffic on Amazon. So if you know how to do that, you have a very marketable skill and you could do with it what you want. I mean, to tie it back to Tiger King, as Doc Antle said, if you can rank number 1 in Google, that's the world. So whenever people typed in Big Cat Rescue, Carol was showing up at the top with Big Cat Rescue. And then, Joe started copying things and putting up sites. And I don't know exactly what he did. I tried to do a little research on that but a lot of the sites are gone now. So historically, it's hard to find the backlink profiles for sites in 2011 and 2010. Kind of a long time ago. Oh, Bradbury says, this is a solid part 2 to Alex's Alex's stream. And I think that's great. Yeah, I saw he was going live and I was like, oh man, like just, I got to do this because a lot of my friends were texting me and trying to get things underway. Oh, Gabriel says, imagine being the wire cutter right now. Yeah, I mean, this impacts the big boys and girls as well. All right, and going through here. Duke says the biggest category hit was musical instruments. However, that is not the only category I cover on my site. Yeah, good point. Good point. And I imagine, Duke, that you have a few. I mean, you got some irons in the fire, so you were working on a lot of stuff. And SciTech says, what are my thoughts on eBay? So depending on the product, it can be a great option. I mean, I actually buy a lot of stuff on eBay myself. Like, I don't know if you could see very well, but like I have a couple camera lenses up there and I bought 3 of them from eBay because it turns out a lot of people on eBay, especially for like camera gear, you can get beautiful lenses for fairly cheap. And if you get high-end lenses, they kind of hold their value. And actually way back in roughly 2000, I bought a few lenses for my Canon Rebel way back in the day. And I had a Canon A2 for the people that remember film cameras. I know people like Duke and a few others remember. Oh, I see Alex is on. What's up, man? And Dan and the whole crew, Daniel. Cool. We got everybody. So yeah, bought lenses on eBay and sold them later for like 5% less than I purchased them for. So I used lenses for like 5-6 years, beat the hell out of them, traveled over the world, and then ended up being able to sell them again on eBay when I got rid of a lot of camera gear before I got all my DSLRs and stuff. And then further, I also bought, you can't see it, it's off camera, but I bought my podcasting equipment too. So I bought a Zoom recorder. I bought a Shure SM58, bought a couple of those. And eBay is a fine program, and I know some people have made it work really well. So I think it's part of the mix, and people are happy to buy on eBay. Ewan says, drink beer. It's a little early in the day. I may work out later. Okay. We're scrolling down, and people do check out Alex's channel, WP Eagle. I'm sure 90% of the people on here already, they're from there anyway. But he's doing some good, interesting stuff over there, starting affiliate sites. Okay. And I need to do a whole segment. What to do with your Amazon affiliate site now. All right, Daniel, what's up? And Jason's on as well. Okay, and I'm just looking through here. Gabriel asked about the Walmart affiliate. So I haven't used them specifically, but back in the day, or at least several months ago, you would see that the commission rates were roughly in line generally with Amazon. And I don't know. I mean, I grew up in the suburbs, and I like Walmart. It's just a comfortable place. I've been to Walmarts in like Georgia, where I'm from. Almost all the states that I've been to, and I've been to all 50 states, I've been to a Walmart, most likely. If I spent more than, a day or two, probably went to Walmart. And one of the most memorable ones was up in Fairbanks, Alaska. So I was in Fairbanks with my folks last summer. They joined me on a road trip, went on an epic road trip from Colorado, drove through Canada, which is big, and went up to Alaska, went up to Fairbanks, and I went to a Walmart. Things are just comfortable in there. It's the same shit that I see around here. It's kind of nice. Okay, quick little note, and I usually don't do this, but I will mention that I do have a super chat button, and Daniel, I'll give you a shout out, Daniel and Derek, and there was another person named Mohammed who hooked me up with a couple super chats last Friday, and I thought that was awesome because I bought beer. I gave them shout outs on my little community tab. I bought a couple kegs of beer. The money didn't go directly to beer, but to equipment and other whatever internet usage or something. So you're not directly buying me beer, but I mean, it all kind of goes in the same bucket, I guess. So the point is you can give a thumbs up, or you could also donate money. So I could do these live streams. Okay. Only if you want to, and only if you could afford it, but some people do like to give a shout out like that. Hugh says, I'm doing KGR research, the all-in title comes up. There's no results in the SERP. That means there's 0. Yes, that's true. That's 0. All right. I'm just looking through. Nick says, what's my response to the change? Is there anything I'll do with my site? So in the short term, I'm usually not I don't react quickly. But in this case, I will probably continue on with what I was doing, which was, 50% affiliate content and, actually I meant to say 50% or more informational, and just continue on with what I'm doing. I know how to get traffic, and in general, I may experiment, like you said, to work directly with companies. That's a good option, especially if you have a contact. And just because of some of the sites that I've had in the past and some of the traffic that I've gotten and the rankings that I've held, companies have contacted me to just do reviews and to work with me directly. So if you're not getting that traffic and they haven't reached out to you already, you can, like I said, check out the companies that are running ads. They have a budget, figure out how you could help each other out. All right, Benji's dad says, do I think Amazon will ever completely get rid of their affiliate program? I'm not sure. Perhaps. But I have no clue. Only speculation. I would imagine that it could be shaved down pretty low, but I feel like, again, if people have traffic out there, they'll figure out something to do with it. Okay, yep, and Alex asked the same thing. Will Amazon ultimately close the program? I feel like there's enough affiliate websites, and there's enough people like us. I mean, there were a ton of people on your live stream, Alex. One of my other friends had a live stream with like 50 people on it talking about this, and he doesn't even do much with Amazon affiliate, and he was just talking about it. So there's a handful of people that care. And I suspect that, and by the way, if there's one of my kind moderators out there, you could kick out Whitney. And I see Alex also hit me up with a super chat. So much appreciated for sure. Thanks a lot. I will have a beer on you. Yeah, so I imagine, because people have traffic on their sites and there's enough of us, that if we sent most or all of the traffic elsewhere, that would not be the greatest thing in the world. It's kind of a strange time now, though, so who knows if things will shift back in some other direction. I mean, again, this does look to be like a permanent change, ongoing. There's no plan to roll it back in the future or anything like that. And just a quick note, if people didn't catch the full or the beginning of the live stream, or for some reason you want to watch the whole thing, maybe you want to watch it a second time. Here's some of those awesome Tiger King quotes in there. Basically, it's recorded on YouTube. That's how the live streams work, and it'll be available later. So you could watch it at 2x speed or whatever you want to do. Someone asked about the cookie policy for eBay. I'm not familiar, but I'm pretty sure if you look at their terms of service, you should have a good handle on that. And Annette says, have I been to Asheville, North Carolina? We have so many breweries now. I've been several times to Asheville, and I used to live in Atlanta, Georgia. So we would go up to the North Georgia mountains, and we went to cabins often in that sort of tri-state area, quad state. I don't know what you call it there, but yeah, we would go to Asheville. Beautiful town, very cool. I think it's really similar to Boulder in a lot of ways. All the beer out there is just fantastic. A lot of good breweries, and I know some of my favorite breweries opened up big production facilities in the area there. So Sierra Nevada, Oscar Blues, which is originally based just a few minutes from here, like 15 minutes from here. So Asheville's fantastic. Love the town, and I haven't been back in a while, but yeah, very, very cool spot. Checked out what is it? Grove Park Inn. Is that what it's called? Pretty interesting place. Had some lunch there and a couple beers. And I'm going to have to jet in just a few minutes. So we have 5 minutes to go. I'm going to get out of here. I'll see if I can make it through the rest of these. So Alex, you got a jet. Thanks a lot. Duke says eBay seems to have a 24-hour cookie as well. And Chef Quat says, have I been to Dubai? No, I haven't done as much international travel. Only been to a handful of countries, a lot of domestic travel. My wife and I always traveled with our dogs. We like dogs, so we always drive around. And it's harder for us to travel with our dogs. Border Collies, we're partial to Border Collies. And the Amazon cookie time is 24 hours as well. There's a super special cookie that is a 90-day cookie, but you put it directly into the cart. So it's a kind of a sucky user experience in my opinion. Okay, and Kindertune says, anyone else have a, quote, rate card? I do, and it will factor in how this plays out. I didn't even know I had it until a couple months ago, and it caused confusion with my earnings. I don't know what that is, actually. So, all right, cool. I just want to point out a couple other things before we jet here. So, number one, thanks for watching this live stream. I think this is one of the biggest live streams I've had. And I guess there's just a lot of people online. I'm getting Alex's sloppy seconds because he did an awesome live stream and had like 200 people on at least when I was there. So I'm gonna plug some stuff really quick. Go to my site, nichesiteproject.com. I've mentioned it a couple of times already, but you can get this sheet with the comparison and the percentage drop. This is the interesting stuff. All right. So you can get this. The link is in the description. It is free. You just have to enter your name and email in the form that pops up. It should look like this baby here. And you can see many of your other friends are already here. All these little anonymous guys in this little space. I think you could see that up there. Yeah. Here are the people that are looking at it right now. So you can see there are many, many folks that are taking advantage of that. And the other thing that I have available, if you are not subscribed to my channel, you should do that, if you're interested in these sort of things. I do live streams all the time, and I'm putting out a ton of content. Additionally, I actually talk about this whole commission rate debacle because it happened in the past. It happened in 2017 in March. In this post right here, I show you how much it kicked me in the nuts back then. And then I also show you how you could figure out how much it's going to impact you based on your own personal historical data. So it's going to be different for everyone. There's no easy way to figure it out, but just by me telling you, it's going to be different. I don't know how much it's going to impact you. It depends on what you were recommending, what you were selling before, and your historical data should be pretty good to get you in the neighborhood of what you need to do. So I go through the full exercise here. I show you how to do it, which reports to pull. It's all beautifully laid out here. And then apparently I did a video, and there's a link to that as well. So just a little plug for that stuff. Love to have you on the email list. Love to have you as a subscriber on the channel. And thanks for the people that support me by watching, and you're already on here and all that stuff. All right, everybody have a good day out there. We'll all get through it. Everything's going to be fine.